What is going on, faithful? It is your boy, Niner Sickness, with the Niner Sickness podcast. How's everybody doing today on this Wednesday afternoon? Welcome, welcome. Please wipe your feet before entering and smash that like button for your boy, Niner Sickness. How's everybody doing? Let's talk a little 49er football. Jed York has grown up, and we're going to talk about that more after this intro. Welcome back, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, depending where you're watching this live from. Welcome. Let's talk 49er football. Let's talk Jed York. Let's talk whatever's on your mind. This is therapeutic for me. I love talking football. The draft is almost here. I can't wait for the draft to get here. Who are the Niners going to take at 61? Will the Niners move up? Will the Niners move down? Who are the Niners going to take at 93 and 105? Who are they going to take at 134? At 220 and 221? And then they have Mr. Irrelevant, 252 or 262, excuse me. What positions should the Niners address? I think talking about Jimmy G is something that I'm probably not going to do for a minute. I think we talked so much about Jimmy G that it's kind of like, really? Is there anything more to talk about? I want to talk about today a little bit about the draft. I want to get into the draft. We already kind of gone through free agency. We know that who we brought in, who we lost. Matter of fact, today, Arden Key just signed a 1-year contract with the Jaguars for $7 million. Is it me, or does Chris Kaserik make these average defensive ends and get them paid? It happened with Kerry Hyder. He had a great 2020, 8.5 sacks. Seattle signed him for, I think, $6.8 million. Cut him, and he came back to us. Who did we replace Hyder with in 21? Arden Key. Goes under Chris Kaserik. Chris Kaserik coaches him up. He has a career high 6.5 sacks. And lo and behold, here comes the Jaguars and offer him a 1 year, $7 million. Maybe they'll cut him they're not going to cut him there. He only signed a 1 year. So maybe in 2023 he comes back to the Niners. It is funny stuff, man. Funny stuff how this works. My goodness. I am super excited about the draft. I cannot wait. Cardcast, what's up, my brother? I'm going live with CJ at 6:30 p.m. Tune in if you can. Now, is that 6:30 Pacific Standard Time or Eastern? Is it 6:30 your time? Because if it is, that means it's going to be in an hour, right? Well, it's 2:30 here, so it's 5:30 over there on your channel. And thank you for wiping your feet, definitely. So, if you notice, no more purple. No more purple. The purple is gone. I'm back to my normal self. Yeah, really, huh, John? Definitely. Chris Kaserik, the DL Whisperer. Something about getting these average defensive ends or D linemen and making them play at their best. The fact that Chris Kaserik to this point does not want to be a head coach or a coordinator should be music to our ears, because he'll continue to be our D-line coach. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited about the draft. The draft to me is like Christmas in April. Christmas in April. Who are the Niners going to draft? Are they going to go corner? Are they going to go defensive end? Are they going to go offensive line? Are they going to surprise us and take a receiver? Which direction are the Niners going to go? And that's exciting. Now, this year, we don't have a number one, as you all know, unless you've been living under a rock. We traded last year. 2 number ones and, well, they say 3 number ones, but it's been 2 number ones. And then we traded places with the Dolphins. And last year's draft, we went from 12 to 3. We also gave them a 3rd, which we now know it's the 102 comp that we got to get Trey Lance. So this year and next year, we're not going to have a number one. Which direction is the Niners going to go? Now, a lot of us are not happy with free agency for some reason. A lot of us feel that the Niners were not aggressive enough in free agency. A lot of Niner fans feel that because Jimmy G is still on the roster, that the Niners were not able to go after certain players in free agency. Some Niner fans feel that the money on the books for Jimmy is hindering the Niners for going after certain players like Chandler Jones. But me personally, I think that whether Jimmy was off the books, that the Niners the 49ers have a structure. And they've shown it in past history that they supplement through the free agency and they build through the draft. The Niners, they build through the draft and they supplement through free agency. Now, the Niners have never been big spenders. And for some reason, we have this notion that in order to be competitive, in order to win, you got to spend money. You got to bring in these high-profile names, these top positional players that get freed or get cut. And that's not necessarily the case. Now, every system works differently. Every team does things differently. You got the Rams who built through free agency. And you got the team like the Niners who built through the draft. Now, people may say, well, wait a minute. Niners haven't won a Super Bowl. Rams won their Super Bowl already. Maybe the Niners are going about this the wrong way. I tend to disagree. I know it's not the popular way of building a team, but it's a sustaining way to have a team that is competitive year in and year out for a very long time. What's up, CJ Ruthless Sports is in the house. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the show. How are you doing? Good to see you. We got Glenn. What's up, brother Glenn? How you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Says, what's up, brother Sickness? I hope all is well. It is. Thank you for asking. So, David's in the house. What's up, David? Welcome to the stream. So, listen. The Niners needed to work on the secondary. We all knew this. We needed to work on the secondary, right? We needed to bring in a corner. We all talked about that all last season. Man, I can't deal with watching Josh Norman out there grabbing everybody. What if the Niners had a corner they could play alongside Emmanuel Moseley? What if the Niners had a corner that was as good as Emmanuel Moseley? What if? Well, the Niners, they addressed that. What's up, Niner Lakers for life? Welcome to the stream. The Niners addressed that immediately. First day of free agency, what do? They signed the second best corner available in free agency. They addressed a need. And one of the areas that we were really bad at for years has been the special teams. We have struggled so much in special teams. The Niners finally decided to move on from Coach Hightower. And they went ahead and signed a new special teams coach. I can't think of his name at the moment. And they addressed a lot on the special teams by bringing in 3 players that is definitely going to move the needle in special teams. Now we got a punt returner that can change field position and can also help on the offense with Ray McLeod. We got Burt, a linebacker that is special teams from Green Bay. And then we brought in a safety, George Odom, from the Colts that pretty much stepped in for the Colts when their safety went down and played pretty good. But these three guys were brought in specifically for special teams. And then we lost DJ Jones, Lincoln Tomlinson, and I understand we lost Streets. So what did the Niners do? They brought in Ridgeway, I think his name is, to kind of plug in and bring that rotation on the defensive line. How you doing, Sergeant Bobby? He says Rams may have went all in with free agency and trades, but gonna hurt them in the long run. Absolutely. Absolutely, brother. So the Niners brought in a couple of key players for special teams. They brought in arguably a very good corner. You're going to like this corner. I watched a lot of tape on Ward. He presses very well. He doesn't separate. He doesn't get separation. He has long arms. He can defend very well. Charvarius Ward is going to be hopefully great in this defense. So we kind of got to work on the safety, right? Who do we bring in to replace Tart? Is Tart come back? Now we did get this guy from the Colts. Maybe he steps in, but we still have to bring more competition. Can Hufanga finally take a step? We got to reassure the safety spot. But overall, we have three great linebackers. We have a good secondary. We have a great front defensive line that is going to put pressure on the quarterback. We have a very good team. Do the Niners need to spend a lot of money in free agency to win a championship? I don't think so. Awesomeness Sports, what's up, brother? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Roberto Hastings in the house. How you doing, brother? What do you guys think of? I like Jordan Willis, especially in that Packers game in the divisional playoffs. He was the reason why on special teams we were able to get that score that pretty much won us the game. I like that we brought him back. I like that we brought back Kerry Hyder. They're just depth positions there on the D-line, rotational players. We got Kevin Givens. I think the Niners are going to address a good pass rusher in this year's draft. Whether it hits or not will determine how good we become. Lucky, what's up, Lucky? Thank you for wiping your feet. I appreciate that, Lucky. Thank you, sir. So, the Niners right now, we're dealing with the whole Jimmy Garoppolo saga. I believe this team belongs to Trey. I think Trey is going to really jump and play well for us. We have great receivers, a good running game. Now, a couple of questions on the left guard position. Now that we lost Lincoln Tomlinson to the Jets, is Aaron Banks going to be able to win that spot? What do we do at the right side? We know that Alex Mack is coming back. That's a positive. That's definitely a positive. But what do we do at guard and tackle on the right side? Now, we understand that Mike McGlinchey is coming off injury and he'll be back taking over that right tackle. But what about the guard? Are we going to go with Daniel Brunskill one more time? Are we going to draft a potential replacement? Do they feel comfortable with Jalen Moore and School for that spot? They haven't addressed anything offensive line and free agency to this point. Do they feel comfortable in the development of the players they have? Are there a particular player they're looking at in the draft? But this team is not that far from winning a Super Bowl. I mean, listen, we were just in the NFC Championship game a few months ago. Without Mike McGlinchey starting, with Daniel Brunskill at the right guard. We made it to the NFC Championship. So, do the Niners need to bring in these high-profile free agents to win a Super Bowl? I don't think so. So, does it suck that Jimmy is still on this roster? Yes. Do I wish they would have traded Jimmy by now? Absolutely. The fact that we would have known what type of package we would have had for Jimmy right now would have made this draft even more interesting to watch. But here we are. Here we are. The 30th of March. And Jimmy is still on the roster. Mara 49 Faithful Lee, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. She has her own podcast. If you ever want to tune in and hear her perspective, I forgot her co-host name. My apologies, but they have a great YouTube channel. Please check it out. If you can put on the comments the name of your channel so that people know and can go and subscribe to you, that'll be awesome. I think DeMeco is changing the D scheme to more of a press man zone mix, with Embry being the outside, with E-Man covering the slot. I agree. I think that they did this a lot remember when Carlo Rogers came from the Redskins at the time. Now they're called the Commanders. And I'm trying to think of the other corner. Carver was it? We drafted Carver. We were able to put Carver on the outside, and we brought Carlos in the inside in the slot. I foresee the same thing, Bobby. I see the same thing. We put Emmanuel Mosley, Emery Thomas on the outside, and we move in Emmanuel Mosley at the slot. I foresee that as well. Kathy Sanchez is in the house. How you doing, Kathy? Welcome to the stream. Hello. Welcome. Ross Duali back one yes. The son, he's the third tight end. He lost that second spot to Charlie Warner, but I'm glad they brought him back at a league minimum. I think draft CJ replacement to play a centering guard replacement to play alongside Mac to learn how he calls the protection. Now, there's a guard. I forgot the first name, but his last name is West, out of Arizona State. I like him. He's versatile. He can play guard and he can play center. I like him a lot. Hopefully the Niners can bring him in. What about McGlinchey and Dee Ford? Dee Ford, I believe, has played his last football as a 49er. I don't think he'll be back. I think he'll be cut or released. Or he'll retire, I should say, post June 1st. But I think his playing time is over. As for McGlinchey, he's coming back from injury, but he should be ready to go. I find it ridiculous that people blame John and Kyle for not trading Jimmy. They do know that in order to trade, you need another team. You need a trade partner. Absolutely. If you are the Colts, will you take a risk on Jimmy? Of course not. This is the bottom line. Jimmy did not sabotage the Niners by electing to have surgery late. Jimmy was told that he could possibly rehab his shoulder and maybe surgery would be an option if the rehab didn't work. Of course, he wanted to avoid surgery altogether. But unfortunately, because at the end of the day, he needed surgery to repair that injury, it changed the thought process of a lot of teams. I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that if Jimmy never needed to have surgery, period, he would have been on another team already. How do I know this? How do you sign a backup like Marcus Mariota to start for you over Jimmy? How do you sign a backup to start over a player like Jimmy? You don't. Unless Jimmy had surgery, which he did. Now I understand why the Falcons did what they did. And let's be honest. Maybe the Colts would have taken a chance on Jimmy even with the surgery done. But the whole fact that the Falcons tried to go after Deshaun Watson and failed to get him, and Mr. Matt Ryan's feelings got hurt. I don't want to play for the Falcons anymore, and he became available. It wasn't a surprise to hear the Colts trade for him. In that type of division, with the quarterbacks that are in the AFC, I think the Colts have a better chance with Matt Ryan than they would ever have with Jimmy G. Jimmy G is an okay player, but he's not a game changer. Anybody that thinks Jimmy G is a game changer, I don't know what type of football you've been watching. Jimmy G is not a game changer. He's a game manager. And if you ask me, you're probably not asking me, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I would rather have Matt Ryan than Jimmy G. Absolutely. What's up, David McNeil in the house? How you doing, sir? Hi, Beto. Wipe my feet. No, we don't need to spend big on free agents. We don't. I agree. Because we can develop players, and we develop players very well. I understand this era is an era of I want everything right now. I want to go, yes, I'm going to use food as an analogy. I'm a big guy. Everybody wants to go through the drive-thru, and nobody wants to go into the restaurant and order because we want it right now. We're busy. Bringing in big names are great if they work, but they can also put you back badly if they don't work. Let's look at the D Ford. Now, hindsight 2020 is wonderful, right? When we traded for D Ford at that particular time, in my opinion, it was a good trade. In that time, when we traded for D Ford, it was absolutely a great trade for him. We knew that he was kind of gets injured, but the back problem wasn't a big issue as it became. We saw in 2019 what the picture that the Niners saw, envisioned having D Ford and Nick Bosa on opposite sides. We saw a glimpse of what that looked like. Unfortunately for us, that dream did not last very long. D Ford started to consume injuries on his back and kind of started to backpedal. And he didn't truly work out for us as well as we wish it would have, or as long as we would have hoped for. But coming off that season that he came off with Kansas City, it was a great trade in my opinion. It just didn't work. You build through the draft and you supplement through free agency. The fact that the Niners were able to get a big ticket corner with Jimmy on the books tells me that if the 49ers, if they covet a player out there, they will do whatever it takes to try to bring that player into this roster, regardless if Jimmy is still here or not. They showed me that. They showed us that. They were able to restructure certain contracts, and they went ahead and still brought in a big ticket corner in free agency, a few special team stars without having to move Jimmy. Now, a lot of us can be mad that Jimmy is still on the roster, and rightfully so. A lot of us can be pissed off that he's still here. We all want to move on to Trey. We all want to see Trey flourish. We want the Trey era to start going, and we want to move, and we want to see Jimmy in the rearview mirror. But it's not happening. Everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer. Everything happens for a reason. The hardest thing to do is to have patience. The hardest thing to do is to have patience. But good things come to those that wait. The Niners have a plan. It just hasn't worked out yet. They're not going to cut Jimmy. They're not going to let him go. They know what they have in Jimmy. They also know because of their shoulder surgery, he will not clear his physical. But if they hold on to him until he clears his physical, now the Niners will be able to get something in return. And remember, teams have lost quarterbacks in OTAs, in training camp, and even during the season. If that happens and Jimmy has clear physical, now the Niners have all the leverage to get more than Jimmy's worth. A desperate team will pay. Do you guys remember the Sam Bradford trade? I forgot what the trade was, but they overpaid. They strongly overpaid for Sam Bradford when Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. And I expect something to that scenario to happen if the Niners hold on to Jimmy. Taryn Lewis is my co-host. Okay. And it's the 49 Faithful League podcast. Everybody, please tune into this podcast, YouTube channel. They are amazing. They talk about the Niners and they give you their perspective of the team that you love. So if you get a chance, go and support them and subscribe to their channel. They're amazing people. Glenn says, Jimmy having late surgery hurt the situation. All you can do now is wait until Jimmy is able to throw. I think that when things will open up, even say let's him return for the first preseason game to prove it. Once he clears medical, and if a team loses their starting quarterback, the Niners are going to be salivating from their mouth. They're going to be able to get what they need from Jimmy. Kerry Hyder is going to be great this season. I like Kerry Hyder a little bit better than Arden Key. Arden Key's a little bit younger, but I like Kerry Hyder. I think they're going to use Kerry Hyder a lot more in the inside than they did in 2020. He was forced to go to the outside because of the injuries that took place. Welcome, by the way, J Mouse. How you doing? We got Jag. What's up, my brother? Beto, I wipe my feet. Thank you, sir. I think we just have to see how everything shakes out. Jimmy, if Trey balls out like we hope he will, he should be QB1 on day one. If you want to be a starter, earn it. And I think that Trey will beat out Jimmy. I really do. Trey will beat out Jimmy if they go. Remember last year when they went into camp, Kyle said it wasn't a battle. It wasn't. It was Jimmy's job. He was the QB1. Trey was QB2. This year, all bets are off. If Jimmy stays on the roster by then, iron sharpens iron. And Jimmy is going to make Trey work that much harder. He's going to make him work that much harder. Let me get the clip. He's going to make him work that much harder. I expect Trey to earn that spot. Ford going to retire with the post-June. Yeah, I think he's going to retire. Absolutely agree with you there. Why did we trade for D? Well, at the time, we drafted Nick Bosa. And we traded for D Ford because we wanted to have those two edge players on the outside because we have Buckner and Eric Armstead in the inside. And it worked very well in 2019. Again, it just happened that the whole back situation threw a curveball to the D Ford with us. And it's a bummer, man. It's a bummer that we were not able to get more years of service from D Ford. Before his shoulder surgery, I thought he would end up with the Colts. More likely he would have, or the Steelers would have been a great fit. I think a lot of teams truly shied away. First and foremost, whenever you bring in a quarterback, you want them to start building chemistry with your receivers. You want a quarterback to come into your organization and start building rapport with the other players on the roster immediately. The fact that Jimmy cannot throw the ball until training camp really made a lot of teams kind of like, eh. And remember, Jimmy's not, if Jimmy was a Aaron Rodgers, a Drew Brees type of quarterback, damn well teams would have traded for him, even with that shoulder surgery, and they would have waited for training camp. A Russell Wilson type. But the fact that Jimmy is not that great of a quarterback, he's okay, but he's not that great. Teams were not going to take a chance, take a flyer on a quarterback that is injury prone. And how ironic that Jimmy always gets hurt, and now he's hurt. So teams are like, man, we need a quarterback, but do we want to give two number ones, two number twos or two number threes for a quarterback they might get hurt? So I don't like it, but I understand why teams decided to go other quarterbacks instead of Jimmy. Jose Julian, welcome to the stream, brother. He says Jimmy G is staying. Yeah. He will take us to the Super Bowl again. You know, there's so many mixed emotions about Jimmy. Can Jimmy win the big game? Is he good enough to win? Blah, blah, blah. To me, at this point, this is just my opinion. And you don't have to agree with me. But at this point, it's not even about Jimmy anymore. What Jimmy can or cannot do. It is about developing Trey Lance. It is about giving Trey Lance the opportunity to develop, the opportunity to play, learn from his, make mistakes, learn, and get better. It's all about Trey Lance. It's not about Jimmy anymore. Maybe Jimmy can take us to the playoffs. He did it last year. Or maybe Jimmy can take us to the Super Bowl. We came close of getting there again. But it's not about Jimmy anymore. It is about developing Trey Lance, allowing him to spread his wings and fly. And you can't spread your wings and fly if Jimmy is sitting on top of his wings. It's hard. Sickness, you said it perfectly. A lot of teams want a new quarterback to be at OTAs. If Jimmy can't, so that drops him down the list. Yeah. You want to build a rapport. You want to build a chemistry immediately with your receivers. And if you can't do that, then that's discouraged. Now, again, if Jimmy would have been a Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers type of quarterback, they probably would have traded for him regardless of their shoulder surgery, knowing that he will be back by training camp. But he's not that type of quarterback. He's Jimmy. And a healthy Jimmy, you can possibly think about trading for. An injured Jimmy, you're not going to trade for if you're a smart organization. Avatar says, what's up, brother? Jimmy tried to screw Niners by delay. See, that's a misconception. I mean, everybody is entitled to their opinion, but listen. Jimmy wants to play football. Jimmy wants to be a starter. Jimmy would have loved to be in the Colts. Jimmy would have loved to be on the Steelers. Jimmy would have loved to be in the Commanders. To be in Atlanta. He would have loved that. Why would Jimmy postpone the surgery just to get back at the night? Listen, If Jimmy Garoppolo has shown anything, is that he's a team player. He's been quiet behind talking to the media. He hasn't been disruptive in the locker room. He's been a team player. He's a great leader. I don't think his anger for the Niners getting Trey Lance, where he's like, you know what? I'm going to postpone the surgery just to get back at the Niners. He just hurt himself. Jimmy can care less about the Niners at this point. Jimmy should be concentrating upon himself, and I believe he is. He wanted to be on a team, but he understood, if I can rehab my shoulder without possibly having surgery, I'm going to explore that avenue. Nobody wants surgery right away, unless you love surgeries. Nobody wants to go under the knife. So if you get the opportunity to explore the avenue of rehabbing an injury without having to turn to surgery, you're going to do that. And he tried. And the thing about his type of injury, it takes a minute to work out the kinks. It's not like he can practice throw a couple times and, oh, I need surgery. Let's wait into late March. No. He tried to rehab his shoulder the best he could for about a month. Finally, he realized it wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't healing. And he realized, all right, well, I guess the only way I'm going to heal is to have the surgery. And he decided to have it when he had it so that at least he can make training camp. It wasn't about screwing the Niners. It was about him trying to get on another team and be a starter. By him having this late surgery, not only did the Niners not able to trade him, but he knows he's not going to start with the Niners. Don't you think he would have wanted to start somewhere else? So this whole, I'm going to screw with the Niners, I think it's just, again, everybody's entitled. How you doing, Big Stinker? Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I think Jimmy's too mature to play that game. That's such an immaturity way of seeing things. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, Avatar, because not only you, but a lot of people have said that. Jimmy's a full-grown man. He avoided surgery because he was told that he could probably fix his problem with rehab. The surgery would have been his last option. And unfortunately, he had to have surgery, and he is still part of the Niners. So I don't think it was nothing intentional. I just think it is what it is. John says, Jimmy pros, quick release, accurate in the hashes. Jimmy's cons, not a deep threat, injury prone. He fits a certain scheme, and not all teams fit this mold. True. Now, the thing about the deep threat, I don't know if that's so much Jimmy or Kyle Shanahan's scheme. Well, we're going to find out with Trey. Kyle likes it within the hashes. That's Kyle for you. Give your receiver an opportunity to get yards after the catch. Is it really Jimmy that can't throw very deep? Or is it that Kyle just requires his quarterbacks to throw within the hashes? David says, when it comes to doctors, there's not going to give odds on rehab working. I have experienced this firsthand on my ankle. Hey, we got a super chat from my boy Jag. Thank you for that super chat. How do we do it? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate the super chat. It says here, I respect Jimmy because he handled the situation well. He was very professional and taught Trey a lot. Trey said he learned how to be an NFL QB1. Yeah, I just don't think that Jimmy, he might not be a great quarterback. He may throw a lot of interceptions to linebackers, but Jimmy is a professional. Absolutely. He's a professional, and he always has the best interest of the team, his teammates. It's just unfortunate that he's still on the roster. Things happen for a reason, man. Listen, we traded Jimmy to the Colts for 3 threes, or 2 threes, for example. All right. So we have two extra picks in the third round. Jimmy's gone. Niner fans are happy, right? I'm just building this scenario. Niner fans are happy. Jimmy's off the books. He's gone. He's with the Colts. We got 2 threes. But things happen for a reason. Imagine this scenario. We have him. We go into training camp with him. A quarterback loses their starting QB in week 4, week 5, before the trade deadline. They have a chance to make the playoffs. Oh my God. Panic time. Now, they are calling the Niners and probably giving way more than Jimmy is worth because they're trying to salvage their season. We just can't foresee it yet. We're looking at the now and not in the future. But those are possibilities. There's possibilities that if we keep Jimmy, week 4, week 5, a quarterback gets hurt, a team gets desperate, they want to win a championship, they will give the farm for Jimmy. We've seen it in Sam Bradford. Things happen for a reason. But right now, we hate the idea that he's on the roster. But if we trade him in week 5, week 6, and we get 2 number 1s, our thought process might be a little bit different then. Now, it hasn't happened. We're not guaranteed it will happen, but it can. And if Trey starts and plays great, having Jimmy as a backup, even at $25 million, expensive backup, but having him as a backup, knowing that if we're winning games, especially in a weak NFC, we're winning games. If, God forbid, Trey goes down for 2 or 3 games, Jimmy can come right in and we can win with Jimmy. Would it be such a bad thing? Maybe, maybe not. You made a great point about Jimmy trying to rehab. Makes sense to try not to get surgery. Of course, anybody that's ever been injured, if you have an option to avoid surgery altogether, I would think you would try to avoid surgery altogether and make that your last resort. Unless you have a fetish with surgeries and you just love to have them, which I don't think anybody really in the right mind does. I agree. Yep. There are a lot of Fred Warners. There are a lot of George Kittles, Greenlaws, Elijah Mitchell. Look at Elijah Mitchell. We drafted him in the 6th round. And the guy is a stud. I don't know about you, but I think Elijah Mitchell is a stud, and he's only going to get better. And we got him in the 6th round. Kittle, 5th round. Hufanga, 5th round. Fred Warner, 3rd round. Hopefully Adam Peters and John Lynch make us proud during draft week. And I mean, we all know that draft is a crapshoot, right? You never know what you're getting when you choose a player in the draft. You do your homework, you do your due diligence, you check the background, you check everything, you try to check all the boxes you possibly can before bringing in a player onto your team. But you never know what you're going to get until they're part of your team. But as bad as the Solomon Thomas was, as bad as the Reuben Foster was, George Kittle in the 5th round, are you kidding me? Fred Warner in the 3rd round? Elijah Mitchell in the 6th round? Dre Greenlaw in the 5th round? Hufanga in the 5th round? Debo in the 2nd round? Ayuk and Bosa in the 1st round? Listen, for the bad choices the Niners did in the draft, the good ones outweigh the bad ones. So for all the haters of Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and Adam Peters, for the bad choices they have made in the draft, the good ones have outweighed the bad ones, in my opinion. So if you look at the drafts, since Kyle and John have taken over, good picks, bad picks. I'll take that. I will take that any day. The Niners are building through the draft and they're supplementing through free agency. That, my friend, is not going to change. Whether we want Jimmy on the roster or not, I don't think the Niners would have brought in a Chandler Jones, even if Jimmy was off the roster. That camera, do you use? Juanito says that camera do you use? Did you recently change it? The quality is crisp, and I like the touch of blurriness in the background. It's the lens. It's the camera. It's the camera as well. It's the camera. I use the Sony 6400, and the lens is the I can't think of it. The lens costs about $500, just the lens by itself. I can't think of the name of the lens at the moment. I apologize, Juanito. If you want to know exactly what I use, hit me up on Messenger. I will tell you then. I can't remember what the name of the lens and the size of the lens, but it's a special lens that allows you to blur out the background. See, this one over here is my other Sony. Oh my goodness, I can't think of the. Anyway, this one has the regular kit lens, so there's no blurriness. It's just the kit lens, which is like, this is the kit lens right here. And the lens that I have on my main camera, it's a lens about this wide. And it's right in front of me. And it's this one right here. So if I wanted to show you something, like if I wanted to show you these deck of cards, it'll focus right into see the cards, and then it kind of focuses right to me. If I wanted to show you the depth of what it looks like. Oh, by the way, these are my playing cards. And they all have 49er players. Pretty cool, huh? all types of 49er players. And then on the back side, it says, faithful then, faithful now, Niner sickness. A friend of mine made these for me a couple of years back. So I like to play with them. But yeah, so it's a special camera, Juanito. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll be happy to answer them if that's something you would like to purchase for yourself. DJ Jones was the 5th rounder. Emmanuel Mosley and Aziz Ashir were rookie free agents. Yeah, undrafted free agents. And DJ Jones was a 6th rounder, by the way. Not a 5th, a 6th rounder, but close enough. And you're right. Not only that, but we traded for Lincoln Tomlinson. And look at the production that we got from him. We gave a 3rd and a 5th for arguably the best left tackle in football right now, and big boy Trent Williams. A 3rd and a 5th. And remember this. Washington Commanders hated the Shanahans. Probably the owner probably still hates the Shanahans. You're going to tell me that they hate the Shanahans and yet they trade arguably the best left tackle to the 49ers for a 3rd and a 5th? Are you kidding me? And these are the front office that a lot of 49er fans are mad at. A lot of Niner fans dislike John Lynch and Kyle. But they traded for the best left tackle. We lose Joe Staley to retirement. And we upgraded. Some of you may hate me for this, but man, Trent Williams and Joe Staley are apple to oranges. Trent Williams is way better than Joe. I love Joe. Joe's an amazing left tackle for a few years. I love the guy. Great personality. But big boy Trent, man. And we traded just a 3rd and a 5th. So that's just a reminder that we have a great front office. Not only that, but as my title is that I wrote, Jed York is all grown up. The Jed York owner that we have today is not the same young kid that he was when he took over the 49ers. He has grown up. He has entrusted the Niners to John Lynch and Kyle and believes that Kyle and Lynch has the best interest for his team. And he doesn't meddle any longer. You got to love that about Jed. At least I do. I've seen a lot of growth in Jed. I like your cards. They're dope. Thank you, Lucky. Which late round player do you think the Niners will take? I'm hoping they can take Marcus Jones, corner, in the late, maybe 4th or 5th round. He can replace K1 Williams in the slot. There's so many players that can be drafted late rounds. Let's see here. Let me see my I like the Niners in the late rounds to take receiver from MSU, Danny Gray. You got tight end Derek Deese Jr. His dad was an offensive guard for us. This guy, his son is a tight end out of San Jose State that we can take in the late rounds. You got a running back out of Utah that I like, TJ Pleasure. Pleasure, they can be taken in the late rounds. You got a linebacker out of Wisconsin by the name of Jack Sanborn that I like in the late rounds. There's so many players out there that the Niners can get. And if we hit What do we have? 9 picks? Say we don't trade Jimmy, and it looks like we're not. Maybe something happens in the draft, but let's say Jimmy's on the roster. Let's just take Jimmy out of the equation, and we go in with the 9 picks. We don't move up and we don't move down. We just go in with the 9 picks. We don't lose any and we don't gain any. If the Niners hit on 4 out of the 9, I'll be happy. Of course, the more players we hit on, the better. Absolutely. The more players we hit on, the better. But if the Niners can hit on 4 solid starters for this team out of the 9 picks, I am stoked. Obviously, if the Niners can get more, hey, more power to us, right? But I'll take 4 out of 9. I'm excited about this draft, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to see what the Niners are going to do in this draft. Who are they drafting? Who are they taking? Are they going to go offensive line? Are they going to go defensive line? Are they going to go corner? Are they going to go safety? Receiver? Do they take Christian Watson, the old teammate, college teammate of Trey Lance? Will they draft a running back at all in this draft? What are the Niners going to do? I'm excited. I'm telling you, to me, it's like Christmas in April. I am stoked. I'm a big Niner fan. I love and live for this. I know a lot of people are like, I like to watch the games on Sundays, and that's it. I live for this. I'm like a kid at a candy store. Who are the Niners going to take with their pick in the second round? You know somebody that I want? This is my, I like this kid. And if you're a Niner fan, as you are, you know that the Niners have a tradition or a history of drafting players out of South Carolina. Kinlaw, Debo. And then we drafted a receiver. A running back. He didn't work out for us, unfortunately, due to injury. Imagine this kid, Kingsley Inberg, defensive end out of South Carolina, next to Nick Bosa at the edge. Wow. That would be exciting. If Christian Watson falls to us at 61, then draft him. Listen, I know that it's not ideally to draft a receiver that high. Probably won't happen. But if we can live in a fantasy moment, if we can live into a fantasy moment right now, imagine the possibilities of having a Debo Samuel and a Christian Watson type of receiver with Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and the running game that we have. OMG. Again, will it happen? Probably not. But if we can live in a fantasy world right now for a minute and just foresee Christian Watson, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson Jr., and Trey Sermon, and Trey Lance. Wow. The possibilities that Kyle can do with all these weapons. But personally, I don't think that Christian will get that far. And I definitely don't think the Niners will move up to get a receiver. I don't even think they will take him if he was there. I would love it. but I think they're going to go. That they always said we build through the trenches. So I see them either getting a good guard / center or getting a defensive end with that 61 spot. But oh my goodness, David, the possibilities of having a Christian Watson on this team would be it would be so awesome. If we get Watson, Trey has amazing weapons. Absolutely. And not only that, but he's familiar with Watson. I think we go O-line or safety depending on the best player and scheme fits. I agree with you, David. If we have learned anything from the Niners history, they don't go by best player on the board. They go by fit. What fits in the Niners roster? I miss some San Francisco football, win or lose. Still faithful until I'm dead and cold. I hear you, Lucky. I hear you, brother. Watson won't make it. No, I know. I know he won't. And even if he does, I doubt it if the Niners really draft him at 61. I really do. But we're just kind of just having a scenario where, what if? What if, right? Wouldn't it be nice? Green Bay or KC gonna take Watson in the first round? Wow. So you don't think he'll make out of the first round? Interesting. Interesting take. Big Stinker says, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian Watson, and George Kittle, plus Juwan as a third down guy. Please make it happen. I'm telling you, man, imagine the possibilities of the players you just mentioned right there. And then you have Trey back there. Woo-wee. This offense will be unstoppable, wouldn't it? It will be unstoppable. Ain't nobody will be able to stop this offense. A Niner fan can only dream. But if you're going to have a dream, having a dream of Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian Watson, and George Kittle, and a sprinkle of Juwan Jennings on a third down would be a pretty nice dream, wouldn't it? But reality is, it's probably not going to happen. But I'm excited, nevertheless, of what the Niners are going to do in the draft. I'm excited to see Charvarius Ward play corner for us. I'm excited to see what our special teams is going to look like. I'm excited to see Ray McLeod return punts. Are we going to get another Ted Ginn Jr. type of excitement on special teams? Whenever the ball, for those that watch Ted Ginn Jr., it was always electrifying when the ball landed on his hands. What was he going to do? I expect that same excitement to take place with Ray. Our special teams got better, way better. I'm talking about being probably 30th last year to maybe the top 10 special teams. Our secondary got better with Ward back there. If we can get a solid safety in the draft, ooh-wee. We got Fred Warner, we got Aziz, and we got Greenlaw in the middle. We got Nick Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, and I know a lot of people are not high on Javon Kinlaw. I am truly high on Javon Kinlaw. Whenever you play with a nagging injury, but it's going to linger. It's going to slow you down. It is going to slow you down whenever you play with a nagging injury. According to Javon Kinlaw, because of the surgery that he had, that nagging injury is gone. He feels like he has a brand new leg. That dude's a beast. Imagine him playing with no lingering injury. And then you got Eric Armstead. This defense under DeMeco Ryans is going to be amazing to watch. I don't care how good DJ Jones was. A healthy Javon Kinlaw, definitely an upgrade. And then offensively, if we can get that offensive line fixed, this team is going to be fun to watch. The possibilities of winning a championship game is there, ladies and gentlemen. We do not have to overpay for big title free agents. We don't. We do not. Last time we had a return for a TD. Yeah. When was the last time? I don't know about you, but whenever Ricky James, and I'm glad he's gone. I don't even forgot where he went. I was always like, it's either going to go over his head or he's going to get hit immediately. As soon as the ball hits his hands, boom, he gets hit. James was, whatever his name was, you know who I'm talking about, number 13. He wasn't fun to watch. Hopefully, Ray, what a name, by the way, Ray McLeod, brings that excitement back to football with the 49ers on special teams. What is he going to do when he catches that ball? I cannot wait for draft. I cannot wait for the season. My pom-poms are, I have a friend of mine that says that I'm a big pom-pom guy, rah-rah. Well, damn if I am or not. I love my pom-poms. I'm excited. The Niners do not need to bring in big ticket free agents to be good. We are good already. Let's see how this Jimmy G plays out. And let's see who we draft in the draft. And let's go and get our 6th Lombardi. I mean, the Rams went to the Super Bowl in 2018, lost. We went to the Super Bowl 2019 and lost. The Rams went to the Super Bowl in 2021 and won. The Niners will go to the Super Bowl in 2022 and win. Although I got to admit, the opportunity to win a Super Bowl from the NFC side was playing against Joe Burrow and that offense, that atrocious offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals. The AFC is going to be someone to reckon with. That AFC is going to be crazy. Whoever represents the Super Bowl from the AFC is going to be hard to beat. That's just reality. The Rams fell perfectly in playing against atrocious offensive line. Because we all know if that offensive line of the Bengals was good or decent, no way the Rams win that Super Bowl. No way. Sometimes luck does matter. What's up, Tony Smith? Hello, Bethel. Bethel? Just checking and wipe my feet. Who's Bethel? I think you meant to say Bethel. What's up, Bethel? Anyway, let's go after that Lombardi trophy. Let's get it done. Let's win it. Let's go. I'm fired up. I'm excited. Are you? Until the next podcast, I am your boy Niner Sickness with the Niner Sickness Podcast. I am signing off. God bless you. Have a blessed day. And remember, tell that important person in your life that you love them, because tomorrow isn't promised. Yes, no injuries. No injuries, Lucky. Richie James is his name. Yeah, he was terrible. I know, bro. I know you meant to say Beto. I thought it was funny, Beto, though. I know what you meant, brother. All right, guys. Hey, thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me this evening or afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you, and go Niners. Red and gold until we're all dead and cold. Peace.